Hello and welcome to episode 80 of the Youth Intake Challenge. We've got a FA Cup final for a last gasp chance to get into Europe. We've got our highest ever finish in the league, and then we've got the end of season review to look forward to. So stick around, it should be a fun one. Welcome back. So to kick off the episode, we've got a day at Wembley against Tottenham Hotspur. Starting line, we've got Kutlu in goals. We've got back four of Harris, Clifford, Carter and Brustad. Midfield three of Oviedo, Sarkodie and Mandanda. With a front three of Joseph, Fulks and Primus. Joseph and Fulks probably fairly new faces too from the set starting lineup we had at the beginning of the season. But Fulks, who's come through the latest youth intake, he's played 3 games already. He's got a couple of assists. And I think it's time to break him in and give him his shot in the limelight as we get into the cup final. This is kind of our last chance of stealing a place into Europe. There is an outside chance of a league place in if there's an additional European spot allocated, but that's not guaranteed. And it's most likely that if we don't win this game, we won't get into Europe. The team below is in the league who will benefit if Tottenham win is Tottenham. So it's all or nothing pretty much. But we'll get into the game. Tottenham have previously beat us in a cup final. I think it was a Carabao Cup final a few seasons ago. I think that was the year we actually won the FA Cup. But let's see how we get on today. I think we've got a fairly strong lineup. Some players have really impressed this season. Kutlu's cemented himself as a top Premier League goalkeeper now. Primus is past the 20 goal mark again for 2 consecutive seasons. And we've got Fulks breaking his way in on the right hand side as well. Sarkodie puts in a corner and it's cleared straight away. Pushed up the other end for a possible breakaway. Clifford intercepts the ball and Sarkodie goes the other way into Joseph, Oviedo and Mandanda. And he gets a short goal. Nearly gets one away to get us an early start. But yeah, Carter's cemented himself a place at centre half. Brustad's hanging on for dear life at right back. There's a couple players pushing in for a starting berth in there, but he's managed to hang on to it for now. Liebird's pushing for more and more game time as well with Primus. We've obviously got the more attacking formation, playing the shadow striker, which Primus would normally play the shadow striker as Tottenham take an unfortunate lead. Looks like Casillas, was it, or Barbosa got the goal. Wolney playing the ball down through the centre. Barbosa looks to break the lines, in it goes to Casillas and he slots it past Kutlu. So 11 minutes in, we're a goal down. Europe looks like it's slipping slightly away, and even if we don't get into Europe, it's still been a good season, but the game's far from over. Fulks breaking into the box, but the ball just gets nicked away from him and Spurs get another chance for a break. Barbosa again linking with a Casillas. A couple chances, Kutlu manages to scramble it away on 2 occasions, just showing the worth of the keeper. And unfortunately we got the ball back. We're going to stay on a positive mentality. Hopefully we should be able to create some chances. Fulks not having a particular game on the right hand side, giving the ball away a couple of times. We'll just keep an eye on that. Deacon to Casillas. Lewis skews it past Harris, blocks it, and a corner to Spurs. So 15 minutes in, it's pretty much all Spurs as it currently stands, but I'm sure we will find an opportunity to grow into the match, especially if it gets to half time. We shuffle some things about. Corner goes in, headed clear. And hopefully this will fizzle out to nothing. Ball goes in again. And there we go. So another chance for Spurs. I mean, they're piling it on. Oviedo wins the ball back though. Chance with a break for Dulwich. Good running from Oviedo. Slings it into the middle. Joseph gets on the end of it but can't get it on target. But a little bit of a bright spell. 4 shots apiece. They've just had a few more on target and the XG's higher. We're slightly edging possession. So it's a fairly close game. We're not out of it yet. As we approach the half-hour mark, Rontrovic in for another chance to Spurs. Oviedo had a chance to break with the ball there, but he's given it away cheaply. Although we've got it back. Primus through to Joseph, into Mandanda. He has a go. Maybe he should have just fed it right there. But we've got a corner on the half-hour mark, so Cody will swing it in. Big lads up there. Looked like we were going to get some kind of opportunity. Sarkodie, he's hit a frame of the... Hits the crossbar, another chance goes in, so we're starting to grow into the game. Sarkodie a little bit unlucky there. And we're edging it on shots now. We're starting to get a couple more on target, growing into the game. Sarkodie, Oviedo and Fulks down the right hand side, not giving the ball away as much as he was in the early part of the game. Brustad working it back, Oviedo into Sarkodie. Can we get some kind of killer pass? Fulks had a chance there. I mean, he could have put his name up in limelights, but we've got another corner. 36th minute. Joseph will swing it in on this occasion, who's overtaken Oza as the best left winger now. We thought he might do it at the start of the season. He didn't really do it by the kind of halfway mark when the intake preview came in, but he's certainly starting to make his mark now. Oviehan and Harris working the ball out on the left-hand side. Win ourselves a free kick as we just fettle in towards half-time. Spurs looking to fashion another chance. Can we win the ball back high? Off they go. We can't quite get it back yet. We are pressing though. We're looking to kind of win the ball back. There we go. Mandanda's got it into Joseph. Can he find a killer pass? In it goes. Keeper claims it, but we're getting... It feels like there's something coming. Something's brewing for Dulwich. Ball's picked up again. Sarkodie drives forward. Joseph again into Mandanda. And he's pinched the ball. We've got to go. And you can't say it wasn't coming. We had a slow start to the game. We stayed in it. We rode our luck with a few good saves from Kutlu and Mandanda with some persistence in the middle of the box after initially losing it. Has won it back and fired it into the back of the net to put it 1-1 just with 5 minutes to go before half time. Can we get another one just before half time to put the pressure right on top of Spurs in what is a fairly evenly contested game? I think we'll be asking for more of the same in the second half. And there we go. So 50-50. Who's your bets on? I think we're doing well. We're going to keep it the same. Nobody's looking overly tired as it stands now. We just need to carry on doing what we're doing, fashioning a couple more opportunities, and one of the customary goals from Raheem Primus would just do as a treat. As a corner from Sarkodie comes in early in the second half, in it goes. Clifford gets a chance. It's pinged about a little bit. Sarkodie breaks the line. He gets a shot. No, is it going to be a tale of two halves this time? We'll start with some early pressure in the second half, and they'll grow into the game. In what would be a bit of a disappointing switch around, but Sarkodie wins the ball again. Initially has been given away, and Spurs break over the top with Deacon, and that's the killer. Whistle's gone. He didn't look off to me. Yeah, it's been awarded. I thought he looked well on. So at the 50-minute mark, we find ourselves another goal down. Another corner coming from Joseph. Can we get back on level pegging again? Out to Fuchs this time. Can he deliver something? Sliding it round the midfield, going down the left this time into Mandanda. Another great shot, but it's been tipped wide. Mandanda's had a good season. Kept his place in there with some really heavy competition from some young midfielders. Joseph trying to fashion some kind of opportunity. Carter over him playing up there, but again we just can't find that killer pass. Kutlu building from the back this time, in through Sarkodie, out to Fuchs. Into Primus, nearly threaded through to Mandanda there, but was cut out. And what we don't want is Spurs to capitalise on some kind of breakaway. Mandanda going forward. Primus, can we get out to that right wing? Looked like there might have been an opening. There it goes this time. Fuchs is through 1-on-1, and he fires it in. The young windows absolutely vindicated me with a goal. Starting on that right hand side through the latest youth intake, and what a player he is, by the way. He could be one of the best youths we've ever had come through in this save, and that is saying something. 25 seasons into a mammoth save, that player is going to be something really special on the right hand side. So 2-2 on the hour mark. I mean, we've got a dominant performance in terms of shots on possession. I mean, we're just a better team, I think, but Spurs will look to fashion something again. We've let two in. We've not been as defensively sound this year as we have in others, but we're certainly looking a bit more potent up front as Spurs look to build something. They've played their way through. In it goes. Kutlu gets it clear. Goes by for a goal kick. We just want to get our noses in front for a little bit. 17 shots, 6 on target. 54% possession. Kutlu building from the back again. Through to Harris, to Clifford. Mandanda, Sarkodie, and passing's quite a good feature of our play at the minute. Sarkodie out to Fuchs on the right hand side. Can he beat his man? No, he comes back to Brustad, uses the pass to beat him, and he's put in another one. He's put us 3-2 up the young winger. Again, this could be an absolute mammoth game for the youngster. Fuchs played it back when I thought he was going to take him on, ran forward to play the 1-2, and that's a fine finish. The keeper went down a bit early, but a fine finish from the young lad, who is now on a hat-trick in the FA Cup final with just 20 minutes to go. Cutler through to Carter, to Mandanda, Primus through to Joseph. If we get another one and get our noses 2 in front, I think this might be ours. Oviehan, he's been caught on the ball. That's going to let Spurs. Well done, Clifford. He had 2 bites of the cherry there to get clear of it. Spurs have a chance. It's gone over. I think it was a save, and they'll get a corner with 20 minutes to go. Do we want Joseph Ferroza? Not for the sake of a yellow card, I think. His last game of the season. He's playing a 6.7. Ball goes through to Sarkodie. Into Joseph. Lovely touch around the corner to Mandanda. He skins his man alive. Plants him on the ground. Get another shot, but it's been blocked. I'm not sure I want to take Sarkodie for Harris. Yeah, he's got a tight groin. He's taken a knock. He's really struggling. We'll get Harris on there for some fresh legs. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Ball goes far. I'm going to be... I thought I'd click that. I'm going to be really cheesed off if they score a goal because Sarkodie's not fit. Spurs play the ball through. It comes off the crossbar. And hopefully we get a chance to make this substitution now. In it goes. That should be it this time. Harris should come on for Sarkodie. Yeah, he's on now. Carter through to Clifford. 10 minutes to go. Just don't give the ball away anywhere silly. Oviehan down the right hand side to Fulks. What can he do this time? First time ball into the box. Nearly caught the keeper out. But Spurs have it back for another attack into Harris. Through to Fulks. I thought that was his chance for a hat-trick. Didn't quite get it. Into the final 10 minutes then. We just want to limit their opportunity. Oviehan beats his man through to Primus. Fulks. Primus nearly couldn't quite get him in there again. Nearly an assist to go with the 2 goals. 9 minutes to go. Again, Oviehan's not got the ball. Harris wins it down the left to Joseph, who he didn't take off. Back to Harris. He's not had a goal all season, I don't think, young Harris. That would have been a good way to open his account. As Joseph will sling in another corner. This has been an absolutely mammoth FA Cup final. 7.5 minutes to go. Brewstad with a throw-in. Working with Harris and Fulks. Back to Oviehan. Edge of the box has a shot. Wilden over the bar, but it'll waste a few more minutes as we approach the final 5. Again, I mean, we've had double the shots on them, albeit we've not had as many on target. 54% possession though. 2 minutes to go. 8 minutes of injury time though. It looked like we had another... I think Oviehan might be struggling. We might have to bring on Giwa. Mandanda to Harris. Into Joseph. He puts the ball away. I think we can probably make that change now. Brilliant little goal from Joseph, who we kept on. They suggested a substitution. We kept him on. Harris back to Mandanda. Joseph turns. Just hits it to the far side. Lovely finish. It gets us that little 2-goal cushion. 4-2 up. I think Oviehan's the man who's struggling. Although he seems to have recovered slightly, so we'll leave him on. Final 4 minutes. We are going to secure ourselves another place in Europe, which is fantastic. But another major trophy along the way with an FA Cup. Harris through to Oviehan. Clifford over the top. Brewstad wins it. Harris. Fuchs just needs to run the clock down. He's going to the corner. Delivers a lovely ball into the box. Joseph was in there. Nearly managed to get another goal to make it. Absolutely certain. 30 seconds left now of the FA Cup final against Spurs. And this is vindication from when they beat us a few years ago. It's going to be a really sweet victory, this one, against Spurs. If we can hold on to it, because it looks like they might have got a chance there. We all know 2 goals is never completely safe. Mandanda breaking free with the ball. They're running the clock down. The whistle should be going any minute. Primus with a chance. He's hit the post. I mean, we've hit the bar, we've hit the post, they've hit the crossbar. What an absolute epic FA Cup final this has been. Ball goes out for a goal kick. Surely that should be the whistle going. And there we go. FA Cup winners, Dulwich Hamlet, episode 80. This is another magical moment in the history of the club from a load of great players. No more so than probably my man of the match, Fulks, the youngster who came through in the latest intake. Only his 4th game to pick up 2 goals in an FA Cup final. That shows you just a glimpse of the potential he's got as we move forward. We'll just watch us lift the cup, then we'll move forward, get to the end of season review, negotiate the summer where we're going to try desperately to hang on to all our best players, and then see how we're lining up for season 26. So stick around, I'll be back very, very shortly. Just a quick little update before we get to the end of the season review. Fulks has become the youngest ever FA Cup goal scorer, and he was so good he did it twice. So at 16 years and 16 days, that's a new record of the youngest goal scorer, which will stand for a long time, I think, in the history books. And we'll get to the end of the season review and see how we get on. Just a quick look as well. Touch how many players named in the 11 of the year. Sarkodie and Mandanda, I think we'll all agree, two fantastic midfielders. Sarkodie the pick of the bunch. And what is pleasing to see is Soggy isn't then who left us, because that would have upset me just a little bit. But in fact, it's African 11 of the year, so it's no wonder Soggy isn't in there because he's American. But fantastic award for two of our great players. It's good to see them getting recognised on the international stage. So again, I'll click through. I'll get us to the end of season review. So stick around. Welcome back for the end of season review. Just before this as well, great news is Sarkodie is now negotiating a contract without a Champions League release clause in it, so we'll hopefully secure his services for another 5 years, which is an absolutely massive bit of business for us. Although he wants 245 grand a week, I think it's one of them that we're probably going to have to pay. We've got 187 million transfer budget, so I don't think it's going to affect us too much, but that's great news, right? Moving forward then, no new players, transfers out. We got rid of Felix Ibrahim for 18 million. He was second choice keeper, but we also had Duncan coming through, so Richardo Duncan's the number 2 now. Got loads of really good young goalkeepers coming through, so it's time to cash in on a 30-year-old and start going with Kutlu, who's now rated as a top Premier League goalkeeper. Richard Ward went to Toronto for he was on loan, but he's gone on an end of season fee. Dave White again we let go. Mike Halliday went to Rochdale on loan, and Enoch Party. Loans out again. Huge number of players went out on loan. I think the most significant one, in fact, Seamus Byrne we had for a little while, but we let him go out. Paul Brown as well. Two of the defensive midfielders. John Derry de Havilland we've let go out on loan, hopefully for a massive 25 million future transfer fee if they take up the option. I'm not sure if they will, but there's a few good players in there like Strayed, Savingidis. They're going to come back next year. Hopefully much better players. Richardo Duncan was at Toulouse. He only played one game. We recalled him from his loan. He's now our substitute goalkeeper. So again, some really good results for him. In terms of the league, we finished 7th. Got a place in the European leagues from the FA Cup. I thought there was another place in there for West Ham, but we've done quite well towards the end of the season. We could have nearly got above West Ham. Just in that final run-in of games, we slipped up at Norwich and at Crystal Palace in the last few games. Probably because we were concentrating a little bit on the FA Cup just to try and refresh the squad up. But all told, highest place we've had is 7th. Although I don't think it's the highest points total we've had. But 58 points with a plus 11 goal difference. Considering the struggles we had at the start of the season, it really took us a while to get going. Is quite a good return, and we've held on to a lot of our best players as well. 16 Premier League goals. I think he finished the 3rd top scorer in the Premier League. He scored in excess of 20 when you take all the other cups into consideration. Champions League, we did alright. We got to the group stages. That 5-5 draw is probably what prevented us going through to the next round. We got beat by Spurs, we got beat by Nice, got beat by Napoli. Picked up wins against Eindhoven and Karabag, but again it wasn't enough to get us through, and hopefully we can build on that next time we qualify for that competition. UEFA Super Cup, we got beat by Barcelona. That's again not really any surprise. In terms of the FA Cup, we did it slightly better than we did in previous years. We weren't scraping through on penalties every round, but we beat Man United 1-0 in a very closely fought game. Bournemouth we beat 5-3, Leicester we beat 1-0, Queen's Park 3-0, Crystal Palace 2-0, and then you saw the final against Spurs 4-2. Primus took Will score with 4 goals, so not a massive score in the FA Cup considering he played 6 games, but again really good return from him. Carabao Cup, we went out in the first round on penalties, or the third round as it is, but first for us to Chelsea, which was a bit frustrating. Biggest win, 5-1 against Arsenal. Primus scoring 4 in that game, Clifford the other one. Match to remember against Newcastle, a 3-1 when we were goal down, which was a great turnaround, and goal of the season was scored by Sarkodie against Leicester. In terms of the finances, again we're a continental reputation club. Whether that goes up again, I'm not sure. 4 is quite a good rating, so I'm quite happy with that. In terms of the revenue, not as much broadcast revenue as previous seasons, by about 10 million. which is we'll make it up somewhere else. Corporate and hospitality not too far away. We've got a bit more competition prize money, but we've lost a little bit of match day in commercial. In terms of shirt sales, Mandanda, Sarkodie, Clifford, Silverio and Primus. Silverio, I think we might be seeing the end of him as Fuchs comes into the team. However, he might be a useful substitute to have around. We'll have a look at his contract in the summer and see what we're going to do, but it might be time for him to move on. We've got a few young players on the right hand side who could do some jobs for us in the future. How are we lined up for the season then? Kutlu in goals, Harris, Carter, Clifford and Brustad across the back four. Brustad starting to get phased out a little bit. We've had some other players playing in there like Bakuru. Midfield three, Oviehan, Mandanda, Sarkodie. Giwa's played a few games in that deeper line role, with Oviehan playing slightly further forward, but again we generally settled on this, and you can see Joseph slotted in on the left hand side instead of Oza. Silverio's clinging on for dear life on the right hand side, but I think Fuchs has proved in that final he's ready to take on first team opportunities in that right hand side, and Primus has continued up front. 4-3-3 DM wide. Occasionally we play two deeper midfielders and we play one as a shadow striker. That's a new formation we've tried in a few games, and we'll look to use that a bit more next season. In terms of player of the season, Clifford, young player, Primus. We've seen the goal of the season. Top goal scorer with 24 was Primus. Most assists was Silverio. Most man of the matches are the goalkeeper, which is a bit of a surprise. Highest average rating, Sarkodie, who we're going to get on a new contract. And then some records broke by Rakim Primus. So the fastest goal in 16 seconds. Most goals in a league match 4. Most goals by a player in a match 4. So a really good season for him, building on the season he had before. In terms of the manager timeline, another FA Cup. Goodbye to a favourite as Ibrahim went. Again, it was sad to see him go, but I think he'd ran his course. He'd done a lot for the club. He'd built us up to where we are, but we had to let him go. Some really good youngsters came through. Ruddy Collins made a return to us as a scout. Next gen, we had a player in there, so Paul Brown. He made it onto the next gen list. I don't know why him and not some of the others, but he's made it onto the next gen list, so he's another one that we need to build up on, and finishing with FA Cup winners. So that is the end of season review. I'll get through the summer, see if we can hold on to all of our players. I'm hoping Sarkodie's going to sign a new long-term contract. We'll look to release a few players who are coming towards the end, and then we'll integrate a few of them players coming back from loan into the squad as we step in towards episode 26. So stick around and I'll show you what the starting lineup is as we approach the next season. And welcome back for the final time this episode. We've got through this summer. We've managed to hold on to our players. We've even managed to get Sarkodie on a 5-year contract. We've also got a couple of other players over Yeagan. He's signed a 5-year contract, as has Primus, and there's a number of other players as well who've signed on for the short-term to long-term future. So the squad's looking good. I'm up to a 30-player squad this time because we're still in the 5 competitions, which will be kicking off with the Charity Shield. Still getting over the buzzing victory in the FA Cup, which incidentally I think was probably a better game overall than the Europa League victory against Inter Milan the year before, and certainly in terms of telling a footballing story and Fuchs coming into the fold and getting 2 games in the FA Cup final, I think that's been the peak so far. Looking at the squad, we've got the 2 goalkeepers, Kutlu and Duncan. We finished off the end of last season. Kutlu's still got a little bit more potential to eke out. Duncan a really good understudy. In terms of the players in the back, we've got Marlon Harris is going to continue to develop in the first team. Our starting centre backs will probably be Clifford and Carter down here, but we do have Giwa who can cover in there as well. Oviehan if need be. I might need to bring one more player in. Brinkhurst's currently out on loan. He went on the end of last season. He'll be back probably a few months into the season towards Christmas, but that'll give us a bit of defensive stability. However, I think 3/4 in that middle area will be sufficient to get us through the opening parts of the season. Right back, we've got Brustad. We've also got a couple others vying for that position. Alex Solkun, he's the one I'd like to develop for there, but he's not quite ready to take over from Brustad yet. And we've also got Strid as well. So 3 people fighting out for right back. All some good potential there. Strid, the young Albanian, he might be the one who actually steps up first and takes it. In terms of left back, we've got Harris, Josh Harris, and we've got Bakuru. So they'll be the 2 covering at left back. In defensive midfielder, we're not going to go with the defensive midfielder. We're going to start with the attacking side. So the flat deep midfielders, we're going to have Oviehan as a ball winning midfielder on the left hand side. Again, he's at his potential, but he's a Premier League player. and we're going to play him alongside Sarkodie, and I think them two in midfield should be sufficient to allow us to be a bit more attacking. That's going to enable us to play someone in a slightly forward role, the shadow striker, which we tried to the tail end of last season. What we're going to do is we're going to bring Primus back as the shadow striker, hoping he still gets the goal return he has. And then we're going to have Liebird playing centre forward, and that leaves us Dario Spahar through the latest intake to kind of develop as that third player who's going to rotate through there. So exciting times in terms of that. Left wing, I think we're gonna carry on with Benedict Joseph. We've got Oza as the understudy / first team player. Now, to get Oza to sign for a new contract, we had to tell him he was going to start a lot of games, but I think Benedict Joseph might actually start to be the prime on the left hand side. On the right hand side, I'm going to persevere with Chris Fulks because I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's going to quickly get to his potential threshold, and following the FA Cup goals he got last season, I think he rightly deserved to start out there. We were looking for someone to replace Silverio. It looked like it might be Samana for a huge number of games. Adam Bent's got a huge potential threshold on that right hand side as well. We've got Victor Rooks from the latest intake coming through there as well. So really good squad, lots of young players to introduce. I'm not sure what to do with Jamu Giwa. We might just use him as the rotational centre half while we don't have a defensive midfielder, but we'll see. If results don't go our way towards the beginning of the season, we might default back to that defensive midfielder, or potentially use a defensive formation against the teams we're expected to lose against, and the ones we're expected to draw or win, we'll play with a more attacking formation to try and get some more goals. So that really kind of sorts us out. The only other things to take you in is the club info affiliate wise. We did lose an affiliate. I can't remember which one it was. It dropped out, the contract expired, but we have got Elversberg we've picked up. So Germany and Zorio, if you haven't seen them already, it was towards the tail end of last season. We've got some Ukrainians potentially as well. So really good spread. We've got 8 foreign nations that could potentially come through the youth intake to bolster the numbers and bolster the quality. So I'm hoping the next intake's going to be as good as it possibly can be. We've filled the staff. Just got one more scout. He's currently in the process of getting recruited, but again, this is the staff we're relying on. It is Chris Richardson, the head of youth development, 60-year-old, working with youngsters. Someone had asked in the comment section what personality we've got. He's a perfectionist. Continental Pro license. I don't think he's got his favoured tactic, his preferred 4-4-2. That might be why we get some flat wingers rather than the attacking, but his second is a 4-3-2-1. So again, I think he's working with the youngsters. He's 19. I mean, he should be helping us get some really good youngsters come through. We have had some in the latest intake. Not as many as we had in previous seasons, but I think we've developed beyond where they might get straight in the first team so much as they used to. But that's enough waffling, an update on where we are, what the squad looks like, and what we're doing moving forward. The schedule is looking busy. We've had a very mixed friendlies, but we're going to get into the competitions, and I will come back to you in a few days with an update when we get the intake preview and find out where we are in the league and the various other trophies. So until next time, take care, enjoy saves, enjoy football. I'll be watching the Everton-Liverpool game midweek, hoping that the Mighty Blues can eke out a few more points. And until next time, have fun.